You know, back in 1978, a single academic paper came out that quietly laid the foundation for pretty much everything we do online. From sending a private email to buying something with a credit card, the security behind it all started right here, with one brilliant method for creating trust in a digital world.
And what's just incredible about this quote is the foresight, right? This was 1978. These researchers weren't just fiddling with an abstract math problem, they were looking way down the road, imagining a future of electronic mail, and they realized that if you can't guarantee privacy and you can't sign things, a digital world would be a world without trust.
And this really gets to the core of the challenge they were up against. I mean, think about it. In the real world, a secret is protected by a physical thing, like a sealed envelope. A signature is a unique physical mark you make. But in the digital world, everything is just data, ones and zeros, that can be copied perfectly, infinitely. So how on earth do you create a secret or a signature that can't just be copied and forged? So, before we jump into their brilliant solution, we have to really get our heads around this fundamental problem of trust that existed long before the internet as we know it. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Paper mail had physical security built in. You seal an envelope, you've got privacy. You sign your name, you've got authenticity. Digital messages, on the other hand, were basically like postcards, totally open for anyone to read and super easy to copy or change without anyone knowing. For centuries, this was the central catch-22 of cryptography. It's a real head-scratcher. To talk securely, Alice and Bob need to share a secret key. But to share that key, they need a secure way to talk, which they don't have. The only way around it was something slow and physical, like sending a courier on a horse with a key. That's just not going to work for a fast-paced electronic world. But a totally revolutionary concept offered a way out of this trap. Now, the RSA guys were building on the theoretical work of Whitfield Diffie and Martin Hellman. These two imagined a wild idea, a system with two different keys, one you make public and one you keep private, all based on a special kind of mathematical function. They had the concept, the what, but they hadn't yet figured out the how. And this was the special kind of function they needed. Here's a simple way to think about it. It's super easy to mix blue and yellow paint to make green. But try unmixing that green paint to get the pure blue and yellow back. It's basically impossible. A trapdoor function is just like that, but with a secret escape hatch, the trapdoor, that makes the impossible reversal easy, but only for you. Okay, the padlock analogy makes this whole thing crystal clear. Let's walk through it. Alice makes a matched set, a padlock, and the only key that can open it. She makes copies of the open padlock, her public key, and gives them to everyone. Now, Bob wants to send her a secret. He puts his message in a box and snaps her public padlock on it. That box is now sealed shut. Even Bob can't open it anymore. He can send it over any open channel because the only thing in the entire world that can open it is Alice's private key. And just like that, the key distribution problem solved. And that brings us to the big breakthrough from our guys, Rivest, Shamir, and Adleman. They were the first ones to actually figure out how to build one of these magical trapdoor functions. And they found their answer in a place mathematicians had been studying for centuries: the unique and weird properties of prime numbers. The whole process starts with you, the user, secretly choosing two extremely large prime numbers. And when I say large, I mean hundreds of digits long. These are your foundational secrets. Nobody else ever sees them.
Next, you multiply those two secret primes together to get an even more gigantic number, which we'll call n. Now this number n, you can shout it from the rooftops. It's completely public. And here's the magic trick, the one-way function. Multiplying p and q is a piece of cake for a computer. But going backwards, trying to figure out the original p and q just by looking at n, that is insanely, astonishingly difficult.
So, you take your public number n, you pair it with another public number e, and voila! You've got your public key. This is your open padlock. You can post it on your website, put it in a directory, give it to anyone who wants to send you a secret. And finally, the secret sauce. Using your original secret primes, P and Q, you calculate a special secret number, D. This is your private key. It's mathematically tied to your public key, but because no one knows your original primes, it's computationally impossible for them to ever discover D. This is the trapdoor. So with this one single, elegant mathematical system, the authors were able to solve both of the big problems they started with: how to keep things private and how to sign your name. Okay, this part is absolutely crucial because the system works in two opposite ways. To send a secret, for privacy, You lock the message with the other person's public key. Only their private key can open it. Got it? But for a signature, for proof, you do the reverse. You lock the message with your own private key. Now, anyone in the world can use your public key to open it. And if it opens, that's rock-solid mathematical proof that it could only have been locked by your private key.
And this creates a digital signature that's just incredibly powerful. Authenticity means it proves who sent it. Integrity means the message wasn't tampered with. And non-repudiation, that's the big one for contracts and business. It means the sender can't back out later and deny they signed it. It's verifiable proof.
All right, this all sounds great in theory, but why has it remained secure for decades? Well, the answer lies in the beautiful, lopsided math of prime numbers.
Look, the entire security of this system boils down to one simple hard fact. Multiplying two huge numbers together is trivial for a computer, but factoring that resulting number, finding its original prime roots, is one of the hardest problems in computer science. And the difficulty doesn't just go up, it goes up exponentially.
And get this is the actual table from their 1978 paper. Even back then, they calculated that factoring a 200-digit number would take about 3.8 billion years. That's about as long as life has existed on Earth. They knew right away that they had stumbled onto something fundamentally unbreakable.
And of course, today, we're not using 200-digit numbers. Standard keys use numbers with over 600 digits. Factoring something that big is it's not even in the realm of possibility for any computer we can even imagine.
Which leads us to a final and pretty critical question. This elegant method from one paper in 1978 became the foundation of our entire secure digital economy. But its security hangs by a single thread, the fact that factoring is hard. So what happens to our world, to all our secrets and our signatures, if one day someone finally finds a shortcut?